Well, howdy folks. We're going to switch things up a little bit today. What I've got here is our shop van. It's a 2007 Honda Odyssey. It's actually not bad. Actually, I'm gonna clean these headlight lenses up. I cleaned them once before, but I didn't put anything on them. So obviously you can tell they faded really good. So I'm going to clean those again, and I'm going to put some clear coat on them. This is, like I said, our 2007. It has, how many miles we got on this thing? I think about 190,000. Let's see here. See if I can get to that little thing here. Yeah, 194,000. I don't know if it's showing up. 618 miles. And aside from the floor mats, which are absolutely wretched looking, this thing is a super nice car, van I should say. You know, they use it to haul coffee and stuff, so obviously they, trust me, employees treat anything you have like shit. So they will trash everything. But I can't open the back hatch because it's this thing is wall to wall in the garage. But so as you can see, we've got stuff everywhere. There's a Suzuki, which I'm currently working on, and got the front fork out. So, but today's video is how to replace your power steering pump. I'm charging up the battery. This thing had sat forever and the battery was dead. I finally got it jumped with the Tacoma today and brought it down here, got it up on the charger, but I already got the shroud off, and your power steering pump is right here. This thing previously, when we first got it, we've had it for about 3 or 4 years now, and it had a leak. And if you look straight down, I'm going to zoom in, see if I can get it down there. Yeah, fitting right there. You know, and it really, if you look inside the engine bay, it's like, oh man, I got all kinds of room. Well, that thing was leaking. You know, it was broke or something or other. So, ordered a whole new tube and everything. And let me tell you, what a pain in the ass that was to get that thing out of there. So, be forewarned, if you ever work on one of these Odysseys, it looks like it's pretty easy to get to. And if you zoom back out here, you can kind of see that it don't look bad. But when you get down into there, you got no room to put a tool. So that took a lot of finagling. That was prior to my days of YouTubing and recording anything. So anyway, what we're working on today is the power steering pump, and it's right ahead there. So it's been kind of notchy feeling, and I am losing a little bit of fluid. So now, with that said, if you guys have a Ridgeline, a Odyssey, or a Pilot, they all have the same 3.5 liter engine, and you start experiencing power steering pump issues, don't be a Greg and order just a new power steering pump, unless it's obviously bad. But there are some O-rings right up under here where my finger is. Hopefully it's not being too bright there. If you take that off, there's some O-rings in there. They're known for those O-rings going bad. And you can buy just the O-rings and then take this piece off. I think it's a 10 millimeter. And then replace the O-rings. So, but anyway, in my process of all these problems I had with this thing, I went ahead and ordered a power steering pump. So this was a couple years ago. So, and here it is right here. And it comes with the new return. I think that's the return line. Yeah. So we're good there. I haven't taken it out of the bag yet. So we'll take it out here in a minute. But what I wanted to kind of show you guys was when you take that pump does not come with the pulley. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to take that pulley off. And so before you take your serpentine belt off, you're going to want to take that pulley off. You're going to want to loosen that nut. And the best way to do it is to take this bracket off, which is just your AC line. And because I started to do this and I thought, you know what, I'm going to record it. Go ahead and take this off. That way you can get a, I think it's a 19mm socket on there. And I'm using my handy dandy long breaker bar. And you're going to shove something long, screwdriver, anything down there to keep that pulley and belt from slipping. And then loosen it up. So that's where we are at the moment. I did crack it loose. And then I decided I'm going to turn the camera on. So let's continue with our process here. Now the other thing is I don't have a whole lot of power steering fluid here, so I'm trying to be very careful with how much fluid I lose. I do have some for Aldi's, so, and that may work, but so that thing is pretty much loose, so I can take my bar out of the way here. Over here, and let's see if we can turn it. Okay, so that'll turn. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to put my gloves on because I constantly forget to put my gloves on and get my hands all dirty, which I really don't care about the dirt, but I'm constantly hitting myself. So alright, so now they do make these things, they're called pig towels. I'm just going to use a red rag and to try to catch any fluid, because what you don't want is you don't want fluid getting on your belt. I'm trying to look at this camera here so I can actually see where I'm at. So that is loose. Now if you look online, if you look at other YouTube stuff, they talk about these tensioner pulleys having a 14mm nut. Mine does not. It has, I believe, an 18mm. I'll check it out. I've got it sitting on there now, but I'm getting ready to release that, and then I'll have to grab a pair of pliers and then take off this tube right here, and I'm going to set the rag underneath it once I get the belt out of the way and try to catch any fluid that comes out. I did just fill up the reservoir when I got home. I didn't plan on doing this tonight. I just wanted to air up the tires, get the battery on the charger. I cleaned out the inside of it. I don't know what I'm going to... I really want a Honda Element because it's not as big and it's got a vinyl interior so you can squirt it out, so if the employees need to use it and they spill stuff in it, I mean, who cares? It's got a vinyl interior. This thing's got carpet, so, and like I said, they'll trash everything. So let's give this a push forward. See if we can pull this belt off here. This thing has got so much pressure on it. They don't ever want to cooperate. But, okay, so it's off. Alright, so I can take this tool. Actually, you know what? I think I'm just going to leave it there. I'm going to pull this belt up around so I don't lose the orientation for it. I don't want to take it all the way off. It's a new belt, so anyway, let's go ahead and see if we can pull this thing off. Like I said, it is a 19mm. Double check my socket here. Yeah, it's a 19. And this pulley is splined, so it only goes on one way. I'll show you that here in a sec. Trying to lose a nut. I don't want to lose your nuts. Okay, so we got the pulley off, and it came off just like this. You'll notice there's a flat side. Get it down here. There's a flat side right here, and then there is the ridged extended side on the back, and you'll see, I don't know if you can see down in there with the camera, but there are splines down in there. So it only goes on one way, so you can't really screw that up. All right, let me get me a pair of needle nose. Okay, so the belt is out of the way, so I don't really have to worry too much about getting fluid on it, but I'm going to try to be quick about this, pull it off, and lift it up, because like I said, I don't want to lose. I'm trying to prevent losing a lot of fluid, because I don't have a lot of brake fluid here. So I do have some of those special pliers for these kind of clamps, but I don't feel like searching through the toolbox for them. So let's see if this is loose. So we've got the reservoir right here, and it's in the way of my, what should we call it? Let's see if we can get this without a ton of fluid. And worst case, you know, I really should have brought me another rag. I've kind of got it propped around the rod there. I don't know if he showed up in the video or not, but so that is off. There's a little brake fluid. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do so I don't spill more crap around. I'm just going to get a piece of paper towel and shove it down in that hole. Let's see if I can do this with these gloves on. Okay. All right, then at the top you have these two bolts right here. There's two of them sitting on top. That's your pressure line. Those look to be about 10 millimeter. So let me grab a 10 mil. Well, at least that's what it looks like. We'll find out here in a moment. Yeah, power steering fluid is slippery. And these gloves are getting it. Sam's, they're nice for a lot of things, but they are a little slippery. And I forget what size nut the looks to be. That looks to be about 12. Boy, that does not want to come off there. Let me get my other 10. Fortunately, my toolbox is right behind me. So let me find my 10. I've got the 10. Yep, that's 10. A little bit bigger. Sorry if I jostled you around. I'm trying to look at this camera here. Okay. Let me crack this up. Okay, that came off. Stupid gloves they're so slippery. And they are the same size, so that's kind of nice. And then you just take this up and kind of prop it out of the way. So that should be good right there. Alright. So we got that off. Okay, so that looks to be about a 12. So let me grab me a 12. Let's see if I got a stubby. I'm in no hurry. That is going to be way too big. Way too long. Maybe underneath it. Uh-oh. My automatic light went off. I think I'm not doing anything. I need to fix that. That's on my to-do list. I have an automatic light for the garage here. It goes off when it's not in use. And this thing is just not wanting to get out of my way. Let's stick it in here. My old one used to have a switch on it, so I could turn the switch, and it would stay on. But this one does not have said switch, so it will shut off if it thinks it detects no movement. Which usually animals are in here all night long, so it feels awful loose. I could have swore there was 2 bolts on this thing. There is another bolt on here. And where is it? It's right down there. Huh. See that, guys? That may have been part of the whole problem to begin with. I'll take these stupid gloves off a minute. They're too slippery. They're so slippery I can't even get them off with my other glove off. So yeah, that's an issue, because that bottom bolt should not be loose. It's okay. We can rectify that situation. There it is. I got that thing in my way, the container for the power steering fluid. It's kind of laying on its side. Help keep this fluid from flying out of it. Now you can't see what I'm doing, but there is a bolt at the bottom of the power steering pump, and it is 12 millimeter, and you're going to want to take it off. The other one is at the back. It's real easy to get to, and you can see it plain as day. Okay. So we got that bolt off. It's the bottom bolt. And we have one power steering pump out. And you can see it's been leaking over time. It's pretty nasty looking. So we'll set that over here out of the way. Let's grab our new power steering pump and check it out. Make sure there's no caps or anything on it that we need to take off. Okay, and there is on the high pressure side. Here's the new pump, here's your feed. Let's take that off. Let's chuck that on the ground over there. Okay, so this does not come with new O-rings on the pressure side, which is, I guess, fine, as long as your O-ring up there is not bad. So let's go ahead and kind of get this thing down in here. And then I'll put the pulley back on here in a minute. And it only goes one direction. So getting this bottom bolt in is probably about the trickiest part. Lining it up with that hole. You just have to kind of feel around. There we go. It's threading right in. I will show you here in a sec what I am talking about. And my phone is ringing. Let me tell you right now, I know who it is. Telemarketers. That time I probably ought to make sure that the top is in the swing. So I get the top bolt in. I will show you here in a moment. I'll take the camera off the tripod, kind of show you down in here before I put the pulley and stuff back on. That way you see what I'm looking at. Yeah, this thing is pretty grungy. And I never took the power steering pump off. So at some point, this thing had been off and it was really loose on the bottom. Which you got your serpentine belt that rides on this thing, which can cause issues. But I just replaced the serpentine belt not all that long ago, but I didn't notice that that pump was moving. And maybe it just vibrated loose over time. Who knows? Okay, so that's in there good and tight. Alright, let me disconnect you guys from the tripod so you can see down here. Because I can't really record down into there while I'm working on it. Okay, so you've got, let's see here, if we get enough light. You've got a bolt right here. That's the one in the back. And then there's one down there. I don't know if that's even going to show up on the camera. But there's one at the very bottom. You can kind of see the bottom leading edge of this pump. It's right underneath there. That's where the other one is. Alright, so let's see here. Well, I'm trying to get a better angle for you guys. But this tripod kind of gets in the way of stuff. And I'm trying to get the camera back on the tripod, so I apologize for the herky-jerky motion. Let's see if I can position this tripod where you guys can see. A little bit better. Hopefully that's working a little bit better for you. Okay, so we've got the pulley we've got to put back on. But before we do that, let's go ahead and put on our high pressure side. And it just popped right down in there. You know, and I was thinking about this yesterday. I work on all these bikes and I work on my own cars, and you know, what I do, none of this stuff is rocket science. To me, it's not. You know, and I don't look at a manual unless I absolutely have to, and I can't figure out something, but I just kind of take it apart. You know, if it's broke, you know what harm am I going to do? It's already broke. So worst I can do is, you know, screw it up and say, oh man, I screwed that up, so now I gotta fix it. Or if I can't fix it, then I might send it somewhere to be fixed, which fortunately I have not had to do. So anybody can do this stuff. It takes patience, a lot of tools. And that's probably your biggest expense is all of the tools required to do half of this stuff. So anyway, we're putting our pulley back on. Remember, let me see if I can turn this lens around here. This part here, the part that juts out, goes towards the engine. See, that was easy enough. And I'm going to put the nut on, and I will wait to tighten this down until I got the serpentine belt back on. I'll just snug it up. Okay, so that is snugged up. And let's go ahead and wipe that off. I didn't see where I spilled a drop of brake fluid down there, so that's good. But anyway, like I said earlier, they make these towels. They're called pig towels. And you have them on Amazon. And you can, let's make sure that this didn't come off the pulley. And it did. Where? Not come off the alternator. Get back on the alternator. Okay, so we're back on the alternator. Back around there. We'll get the bottom. I'm missing something. I jumped off something. No, oh shit, yeah, that's what it is. This damn thing's in my way. We jumped off of the idler pulley. That stupid light. Lights never stay where you want them to stay. And then you don't have light where you'll need a light. Okay, so let's run this back over the idler pulley up under the alternator. Get my fat hands out of the way. Okay, so we look good there. We'll slid over. See if we can get the back kind of going. Now I gotta get that stupid ass tool back down in here. Ah, stupid light. Okay, so that's down in there. Let me get my tool back down here. And like I said earlier, everybody says online they're 14s. This is indeed a What size is this? This is a 19 millimeter. So I don't know if somebody had upgraded this pulley at some point, but this is definitely not the not a 14 millimeter. Now the fun part, guys. This damn hose is in my way. Let's see if I can get the bottom going. Oh, this thing's gonna fight me. Something ain't twisting. What's that twisted on? Tell you what, I'm gonna take. I know there ain't no pressure. There shouldn't be no fluid left in this thing. I'm gonna take this belt back off, this hose back off. I'll stuff this back on here just to be on the safe side. That hose is in my way of doing that belt. Now let me check the routing, make sure it looks good. Okay, we're over the water pump, we're over the idler pulley, we're over the alternator, the other idler pulley, or tensioner pulley, and idler pulley. So we're good there. Alright, so now we can take this hose back. Put it on here. And yes, I will double check everything. Okay, that's back in position. Mount that back down in there. And I know I lost a little bit, so let me pull it back up just a tad to account for any that I did lose. Okay, put our cap back on. Let's double check what I've got here. So we got that, we got that. Okay, we got that hose looks good. And that looks good. Okay. So now we've got to put our little bracket back in here for our AC line. Tighten that up. And now, here you probably, you know what, I'm going to see if I can reach that with my wrench. Tighten that down, sorry, didn't mean to kick you. See if I can shove my bar back down into here. Tighten this nut. Okay, that's good and tight. I'm sure that's right to Honda specs. So let's see here. I'm done with that. I'll clean up my tools here in a minute. Just get everything off the engine compartment. I don't want this flying around. See here, are you guys seeing down in there still? Yep, sure are. So everything's looking good. So let's turn it on and see what it does. I'm going to crack my door open so I don't fixate myself. I know that pump is going to take up some fluid. Run low on fluid? No. No. That's good. Alright. Okay guys, running. Got fluid going through it. Turned a few times here. Got my fluid sucked up in it. You can hear that. I was letting it run a little bit. See how much fluid it was leaked out or sucked in. Okay, we're at the upper level. Alright, so that process is complete. So I will take you guys back off the tripod here. And we are good to go. New power steering pump. See, no leaks. Fluid level is back at the upper level. Let it run, turn it, turn it, turn it. And just keep an eye on your level and fill it back up. Get all the excess brake fluid off parts. And that's it, guys. That's how you change your power steering pump in a 3.5 liter Honda Odyssey, Ridgeline, Pilot, any Acuras that use the same 3.5 liter. They're all the same. So hopefully this helps you guys, and have a good one.